Okay, we've got a 3 horsepower economy. I picked this engine up in an auction back in December. It ended right after Christmas. It's been on the trailer since. So it finally got warm enough here today. Not that it's really cold here, but warm enough to play with it a little bit. I'll take a walk around. It is 3 horsepower. Everything seems to be correct on it. Nothing seems to be really missing that I'm aware of, but I'm not an expert, so the only thing that is missing is one of the bolts that holds the head and the water jacket onto the base, but I think we'll be okay. Both of the valves, well, intake opens. I know the exhaust opens, so, and the tin can was on top of the exhaust, so that's a good sign. It doesn't have any holes in it. Obviously it's missing the muffler. That's not correct there. Came with the crank. We might or might not use that, but that's the original crank. It does have the oiler. So let's see what we can do. Supposedly they were stored inside, all the paint's flaking, so I don't know where the original owner had it stored, but the auction company had moved it to their site and it wasn't stored there. And supposedly it ran, so we'll see. I'm gonna get a bunch of stuff. We're gonna oil it up. We're going to see if it has spark. If it doesn't have spark, I have another needle that works, so we should be good. So let me get the stuff and I'll bring it back when we go to clean it up. Automatically records. Okay, let me get up here. All right, first thing we're gonna do is see how the fuel tank kind of looks. I poured some lacquer thinner in here just to give it, I don't know what was in there, so just in case we at least have a start. And I put some WD-40 on the filler cap to make sure it well, it was stiff, so that's what it did. We're gonna see how this pan works. Probably, who knows, we'll see if it overfills or not. Right. Yeah, it might not work. Might have to get a different wrench. Let me get that. Just pause it for a second. Yeah, I don't know why you can see it. I got a different wrench. I got it busted loose, but I haven't let anything out yet. So let's see what we have in here. Hopefully, well, we'll see. Yeah, it's coming out clear. Coming out pretty good. I don't know why you can see it. Should be able to see it. But it's coming out pretty clear. And that was clean lacquer thinner, put it in there. So maybe the gas tank was actually dry. Don't know. Once it quits draining here, we'll dump it in and just run it through again. It does have a little bit of color, but not that much. Okay, that's it. Let's see how well we can do this. Come over there nicely. There we go. So there's a little, like I said, I still don't know if you can, there's a little bit of rust and stuff, but I don't know if that was just for me knocking it off. We're not going to pour that back in. We'll just kind of see what we have here. Just gonna leave this in here so we can clean it. If you don't notice, the trailer is tipped. If you didn't see it before, I left it that way on purpose, so we could drain this fuel tank. It really doesn't look bad, but I don't know what's in the back side of the tank, so we'll probably just leave it the way it is to try to start it, maybe level it a little bit, but we'll see. I'm gonna blow some air in there and see what it does. Call that good for just trying to start it. Gonna leave that all. Take that out of there. Use that to clean some stuff up with. I think the next thing we need to do, I'm not going to film it, but let me get a pointer here. Should be a check valve in here and the copper line that's going over here to the mixer. I'll show you the mixture here when we go to clean that. So let me clean this all up. I might have to replace this little piece of copper tubing because it does look a little bent up, but let me take this apart and clean it out and see where we stand. Okay, I wanted to show this real quick. I cleaned this up. This is a fuel line going to the mixer out of the fuel tank. But what we have in here is the check valve, which is right there. And it falls down into this brass fitting here. And what that does is when the mixer slash carburetor asks for fuel or sucks the fuel, the check valve comes up and it lets fuel in. When the check valve stops or drops back down, then that doesn't let fuel go back in the fuel tank, and hence keeps your carburetor primed. Typically, or the ones I've seen have just been a little brass ball, but this one has, I'm gonna assume it's original. A friend told me that was he's seen it in Fuller and Johnson's, but this is an economy, so yep, it is what it is, but it works. I tried it with air. And there goes Maggie. You know, it's getting dark out here, so I don't know well you can see it. I have this borescope, and just for the fun of it, I'm gonna stick it up in that fuel tank. I know we rinsed it out, but let's just look at it. And I'll try to put it in the camera once I get it in there. I think it's gonna fit in there, so we'll see. Okay. It will not, well, maybe go all the way up in there, but let's see if you can see. It's kind of crusty in the pipe there. I don't know if it's worth messing with. Okay, we're back at it today. The weather kind of finally warmed up for at least one day. Yesterday was cold. Last Sunday was cold, so let's go over this real quick and then we're going to try to get it to start. So the best I can tell, this is a 1923 economy. It's a 3G. I might have already model 3G. It's 3 horsepower. I might have mentioned it before, so I think I did mention that we were missing a head bolt. Well, it's broken off in there, so we'll have to make a bolt and try to get that out. I did pressure wash the engine. This is not original paint whatsoever. There's several colors on here. It's all flaking off. We'll at a later date do that. So we looked in the gas tank. It looked crappy. I got some brushes and I cleaned the pipe out. The pipes won't come apart, so no reason to mess with it now until I take it apart and take the gas tank out, which is down here obviously, and it's a pain in the butt because I gotta lift it. So we got the fuel line back in. This is the check ball. I showed you that in the fuel. I went through, cleaned up the oiler. It's a drip oiler. 3, depending on who you talk to, you know, 3 to 4 drips per minute, you know, 6 or 7 per minute, depending on who you talk to. I cleaned up all the grease cups. I've oiled everything, re-greased it. I haven't got all the grease to come out in some of the places it's supposed to be. One thing I'm concerned about, and we'll see here when we try to get it to run, is the wrist pin is loose, I believe. So one other thing I did was, this is the primer cup. So you can open it up, put a little fuel in there, and it goes directly into the combustion chamber. That way you have a little head start. I did blow some air. I cleaned the mixer. The mixer's right here. The mixer works just like a carburetor. It has a needle valve in it. Let's see if we can get it to go in there. And it has a seat in there. And like I said, it works just like a carburetor. Mixes fuel and air. So we'll get that put back in. As you can see, I have a pretty nice magneto on it now. The other one I'm just not sure of. And this is actually a brand new one. A gentleman I know from all the gas engine shows, he remanufactured these from scratch, so it's brand spanking new. You can still buy them on eBay. I don't think Randy Tucker, it just wasn't the bang for the buck for him. But I have one and it has spark, so we're gonna go with it. This is the old Wyco. They're both Wycos, EKs, what they're called. I have some stuff to rebuild it, but I just don't want to mess with it today. And it depends on if the coils are good, and probably the magnets need recharged on it, so we're not going to get to that. So we have some spark plugs. The spark plug that was in it is a long reach. These typically, well, they came on Maytag model 92s, and I think if we get close enough, you might be able to read Maytag. I think so. So I'm not going to use that. I'm not even going to try. I have what's called a Champion X. I'm going to put in there. It's not really, still not your typical spark plug, but we're going to go ahead and use it. And it sparked with the magneto. Rolled away. And then what you can buy now for these is a regular spark plug. Let's see if we can get it. What's it, an Autolite 3095? Yeah, typical And if I can line them up back here with the threads, you can see what I mean. So this one, yeah, that's about right. The Maytag strip, it's a Champion, it's a Maytag strip. Long reach, the Champion X is, you know, pretty close. And the 3095 is a little bit shorter. You can buy 3095s, they work in the Maytag 92 also. These are all just pipe thread. So that's kind of where we're at. So I'm gonna put you up on the stand and we'll go from there. All right. So the first thing I'm gonna do, look at this needle valve back in. I haven't tried to start this either, so we'll see what happens. So we're all the way in. It could be turn and a half. Somebody has a notch here, you probably can't see it, but we're gonna go ahead and take it out one full turn to right there. And then we'll go ahead and put the spark plug back in it. Gonna walk in front. I don't know what the correct size is, but 7/8 doesn't fit, an inch is too long, so we're going to use the Ford tractor wrench, or the Ford wrench. Snug her up. We're going to use our little primer cup here. We're going to give her a little carb cleaner. Should be enough if I didn't flood it. Choke on. So the fuel. Uh-oh, heard a pop. It's a good sign. Go ahead and prime it some more. Go shaking the camera stick and let's get off. So she's running, she's smoking a little bit. I don't hear the connecting rod doesn't. Not sure if the connecting rod is rocking or not. But I want to try something. I'll tell you something. This is just plain fun. If you can hear me. Yeah, pretty cool. She shakes, but what you gonna do? So, sounding really good. So that's it. I got some drone video when it snowed last month. This is the end of the engine video, but I'll throw a minute or two of that on there just to finish it up. Alright, thank you, thanks for watching.